To our fellow Chalfont employees, it has recently come to our attention that a union decertification petition has been circulating around the Chalfont facility. We believe it is more than coincidental that the same thing is happening at the Quad plant in Dixon, Tennessee. We know this because they jumped the gun by filing a decert petition prematurely. The company representative there posted the correct date to resubmit and fabricated the strength of the number of employees in support of such an action. Go to Facebook page Teamster Squad to see more. Do we really want to return to the days when management had total control over our working lives?
For years, the employees of Chalfont suffered a series of setbacks and cutbacks as a result of financial mismanagement and poor economic conditions. We endured pay cuts, forced furloughs, loss of 401k contributions, and personal days. On occasion, I remember being called to the warehouse wondering on the way, what will they take next?
Even as Virtus collapsed and our futures and livelihoods hung in the balance, the architects and senior management responsible for our downfall were lavishly compensated. How did this happen? Through their employment contracts. They had access to address their needs and expectations. They had a voice in their fate, and not surprisingly, they were well taken care of. They received bonuses and retention payments, while many long-term local Chalfont employees were arbitrarily terminated, with the remainder of us left continuing to sacrifice. After years of cuts instead of pay increases, with years of disrespect and animosity shown to us by management, while many of our co-workers were being terminated without any due process because of our at-will employee status, from this despair emerged a glimmer of hope and spirit of defiance. A group of dedicated, loyal employees began a union drive, delivering the message, enough is enough. No longer will the workers who built this company and who are its backbone suffer in silence and passively await their fate. We would stand up for ourselves and fight to negotiate over wages, benefits, and working conditions through a union contract.
I can tell you from personal experience that what most impressed me about our drive to unionize Chalfont was that the folks involved were guided and motivated by a desire to turn things around for everyone. We were not concerned about our individual fate or protecting the special interests for a chosen few. We were fighting for the welfare and well-being of all employees. We did this with considerable sacrifice to our personal lives, while all the time standing united against the fear and trepidation inherent with such a struggle. I remember the rumors that were spread attempting to divide us between department shifts. I remember when the company distributed highlights of the North Brunswick contract, illustrating that they took concessions. I also remember the reaction when everyone saw the entire contract with its guarantees and realized that the North Brunswick union workers were able to postpone the cuts for years because they had a union. While in Chalfont, they just called us to warehouse and told us we're making the cuts immediately.
You may recall that in an effort to squash the union vote, CEO Quincy announced they were going to give a 2% increase to all non-union represented workers. Thank you, Quincy. We all got 2% before we ever started negotiating our contract, which, by the way, has provided us 2% increases for everyone each of the past 3 years. That's an 8% total since we started our union drive. You throw in our negotiated 12-hour holiday pay, the retention of our personal days and perfect attendance days, all of which non-represented Quad employees don't receive. And don't forget payout of night shift differential for PTO, and that no one in our bargaining unit should be paying for uniforms. The workers are making progress.
We've won these things and the right to challenge unjust punitive action because of our collective bargaining power and united voice of our union. We are no longer at-will employees who can be terminated for no cause, and we have a recognized, legally mandated structure that ensures that our needs and concerns are addressed and that we have a say in the conditions and circumstances that affect us and our families. We fought hard for these rights. To give it away with absolutely no recourse except hoping management will do the right thing is a monumental mistake.
Finally, let's finish by saying that right now in Chalfont things are going better. Quad honored our union contract in a spirit of cooperation and moving forward. We're actively hiring and expanding our workforce. $6 million in capital improvements have been dedicated to the Chalfont facility, and the dark, uncertain days of the demise of Virtus are far behind us. I believe that there is a positive future in Chalfont. I believe that together, Quad and its union production workers can grow and prosper through the means of collective bargaining and mutual respect. I also believe that turning the clock back to giving the company total control of our working conditions would be a very big mistake with catastrophic cost to the production workers and our families.
I urge anyone who has endorsed this decertification petition or been approached to sign the petition to carefully consider the ramifications and consequences of this action. Do you really want to give management total control over your working life? Do you think that by projecting disunity and weakness, we are sending the right message to the company when we are closing in on negotiations of a successor contract? Look, as we see it, we have three choices.
We can quarrel amongst ourselves, face a divisive decert election, showing the company our weakness and disunity.
We can do nothing and let someone else or the company make all the decisions that affect our working life and our families.
Or we can stand together, work to make our union stronger, and work to improve Chalfont through our concerted efforts. That's the way we see it. I'm Hank Stargell, Steward.
I'm Kyle Anderson, Steward.
I'm Paul Knox, Steward. And remember, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.